you're king of tennis. What is there anything you would do or change?
There's several things, and some of them are controversial. And the guys at Tennis Channel, if they see this, probably shoot me if I said it.
Nice.
But one of them is there's got to be a season. There's got to be a schedule. There's no other sport that goes on as long as we do. So selfishly, that hurts me professionally because Tennis Channel, we want live tennis all the time, right? So if it going on year round, but I think there's ways around that. But you got to shorten it up because the players are they're getting beat up and they're getting hurt. I mean, I just read something that Matteo Berrettini why he bailed out of the Italian Open, so he's not playing. So he's not in Rome. Yannick Sinner's not playing, and these are big names, and those guys happen to both be Italian. So that's a problem. Rafa's issues now. Granted, he's older, but guys are getting hurt, and so having a season is, I think, paramount. I'm a big fan of having bigger pressure points. So no ad scoring would be, I'd be interested in that. It would shorten the matches, which again, I think Americans have a short time span to watch. Three out of five makes sense for the majors. I mean, it needs that you don't want any weird fluky things happening, but some of the other tournaments, I mean, it worked in doubles. Bob and Mike Bryan were adamant against the no ad scoring. And then somebody presented them the data and realized that it really does work out. The right team does win most of the time, like it should. There always are upsets like they are in regular scoring. So I would like to see that. And, but the season is the thing that's got to happen. And everybody talks about it, but it's a business. So therefore it is really tough. Who's going to be the one that says, okay, I'll give up my business and my tournament and, to save the players, but something's got to happen. And, you compare it to baseball. They wanted to speed up the game and shorten it. They have a season, but now they're complaining that pitchers are getting injured. You're going to have unintended consequences of these things, but you've got to shorten it down to help the player. That's just, because you're getting injured.
And I always try to push back in real time. So in that case, who do we, and by we, I mean you, John, who do you talk to get this done? So King of Tennis is always, okay, here's the greatest thing we could possibly do. Is this just a pipe dream, or do we know who to talk to? Like, how do we get this done?
I think it's real. I think it's going to happen. And there's some things, underlying currents, and I can't speak authoritatively about what I'm about to tell you, but there's a movement out there from PIF, which is the Public Investment Fund. I guess it's the Saudi money that does Live Golf. And they want to try to take over the ATP and the WTA. And I know that's a big issue right now. And the majors, the tournament directors of the four majors met in Indian Wells this year, and I don't have all the details on it, and are concerned about that. And so I think it's going to happen because you got player councils pushing back on it. So one of those two, I think that will be part of one of the byproducts of the compromise. At least I think that's kind of the scuttlebutt. We'll see if it does happen in reality. And like you said, is it a pipe dream? But something's got to give, because if you don't have the product and the players of the product, then you got a problem. And the game has become so physical. I mean, walk around the players lounge at the US Open and the humans are huge. I mean, I look like a munchkin in there. And they play every week, that you got the equipment changes, playing with poly strings. I mean, it is hard on the body. So the physicality, something's got to give. So I know I'm being vague on the PIF and the majors, because one of those two is the cream's going to rise and it's going to basically take over. And I think they will be the kings that are going to dictate how this goes. And in a perfect world, if you could do it, you have the US Open kind of ends it. Then you have events like the Labor Cup and other things, the Tour Championship at the end of the year, to give the players a break. Now, you and I both know they're probably going to do XOs, but that's more of a show. That's not a 6 or 5 round or 7 round event that beats up your body. And it's more of an entertainment thing. But that to me has got to happen. And Tennis Channel will be there the whole way to, air all of it.
And so one more pushback before I let Bobby play with it. Yeah, I love the fact that these guys are superheroes. I mean, I walk around, I'm a normal size, 6 foot tall guy, and you just feel small at these places. And you realize the Berrettinis, they're all 6'6" now, and they're all huge and phenomenally fit. But at some point, why now? Why do we need to change the season to make sure these guys can all last 20 years like Roger. That used to be the outlier.
No,
is the
you're
guy
right.
who could play that long.
You're
Why do we have to make sure they can all last that long when back in the day we knew the clay courter wasn't going to be #1 in the world for more than a couple of years?
right. That's right. That's well. I mean, if you think about it, Shaun, people didn't think Rafa and me being one of them was going to last as long as he did. We thought he was going to wear his body out for sure. But I think the difference is, you remember when Andres Gomez played Andre in the finals of the French? I think it was in '90, and he was 30 years old, and he was ancient in tennis age, thinking at that time. And now that's you're kind of at your peak, but the training changed. McEnroe's days, the guys didn't train like they do now. They didn't have a physio. They didn't use the weights. They didn't have a dietitian, all that stuff. That's changed to make these guys last longer, a la Fed, Nadal. Look at the Joker. He gets in a hyperbaric chamber all the time. I mean, he is so meticulous and precise with everything in his life. And so that's created the longevity. So that is the opportunity. But at the same time, and it's not because of that, but with the humans getting bigger, the equipment changing, the physicality is far more physical. And if you don't believe me, go watch a match from the 70s or the 80s, or even watch Agassi and Becker play. And he was boom, boom back in the day. It's not even close to the way the balls are being hit now. So the physicality's changed. So you've got two things going on. You got so much physical stuff. I mean, with their bodies, weight training, all the physio stuff they do. So you got that going on. And then you've got the guys being able to do it longer, but with the equipment stuff, burning them out faster because the equipment was different. Everybody was playing with gut back in those days too, or a hybrid of gut and some synthetic. Now they're playing with polys. The ball, the spin of it, that's you can impart on a ball is phenomenal now. So the control is off the charts. Points last longer. You remember in the probably late 90s, early 2000s, Edberg and Becker were playing Wimbledon finals, and somebody did a stat on how much time the ball was actually in play. And it was a 5-set match, and it was like 2 minutes and 30 seconds. Actually, ball in play. So what did Wimbledon do? They slowed the courts down. So now you got baseliners winning Wimbledon. So the physicality has changed. So you've got some variables that changed in the game that were different. So and that's why it's very difficult to compare eras, and I get all of that. But something has got to give because right now the players are giving, and it's not good for the sport.